so as we have recently discussed, the purpose of the Secular Student Alliance is to empower secular students who are normalizing secular identity and spreading secular values. Since 2000, the Secular Student Alliance has grown from a tiny handful of students and recent students, there were 8 of us, who wanted to provide support to campus atheist, agnostic, and humanist groups around the country, and skeptic groups too. And we've grown into an organization with staff in 4 states, and hundreds of groups, dozens of secular safe zones, and thousands of individual student members. The Secular Student Alliance's work is possible because of thousands of people, students and non-students alike, coming together to make it happen. And it takes all kinds of support to make the secular student movement the juggernaut of secular awesome that it is. Of course I remember that. And of course it takes all kinds of incredibly dedicated student leaders and volunteers. And I want you to all give yourself a round of applause for the amazing work that you do. In addition to the amazing work that all of you do, it also takes lots of staff time and lots of group running guides and leadership travel aid checks and space to have events and a whole lot more to make the Secular Student Alliance what it is. And as we discussed last night, right now it takes about $1 million a year to keep all of that stuff going. And over 90% of that money comes from people who are not students. It comes from people who get excited about there being a secular student movement, who want to pay it forward. And the student movement benefits greatly because of this by having ambassadors. People who set an amazing example of supporting secular students and go out and recruit others to do the same and inspire others to do the same. And there are definitely dozens and dozens of people who fit this definition. And the secular movement would not be where it is today at all without these people. So the Secular Student Alliance has decided to start recognizing an outstanding ambassador of the Secular Student Alliance each year with the very creatively named Secular Student Alliance Ambassador Award, which will be given every year. The winner of the inaugural SSA Ambassador Award empowers secular students in a dizzying number of ways that I will not even get to all of them tonight, but I will give you a taste. And she also works very hard to encourage the same in others. She's one of our most popular members on our Speakers Bureau and speaks on such topics as the importance of having both firebrands and diplomats in your groups. A talk, by the way, which came up in our roundtable earlier this evening. How her atheism informs her sexual decision-making and how it should inform yours. How to avoid burnout, maybe you've heard that one, and many other topics as well. She's also written several books, some of them about atheism and some of them about other things as well. She's a frequent contributor to AlterNet and Salon, and one of the most widely read and well-respected bloggers in the secular movement. And she has used the power of her blog to support many a Secular Student Alliance fundraising effort, often with brilliant and insightfully rendered blog posts, and also brilliant and insightfully rendered cat photos. And I'm very fond also of telling this year's winner that she is the most important atheist theorist living today. I think it is incredibly valuable to have people that can take the feelings that you have in your gut that something is wrong with something, or that there's just, you know that it really would be better if we could talk more coherently about why and how it is that we feel our atheism has helped us live more fulfilling lives, say by freeing us from sexual guilt and shame we might have been programmed with earlier. But you yourself do not have the sophistication to come up with how to explain that. But our winner tonight definitely does, and has for many, many topics. And I will say that although I am part of a very progressive, thoughtful movement and try to be a very progressive and thoughtful person, I actually find it very rare that I change my mind. And I can think of 3 times that our award winner tonight has helped change my mind. She helped me see the incredibly important role of firebrands. I didn't really see earlier when I was younger. Well, when I was very young, I was a firebrand myself, and it was very exciting. But then I decided that I had tired of arguing all the time and didn't really want to do that, and was much more excited to kind of be a diplomat for atheism. And our winner tonight helped me see that while, yes, diplomats are extremely important to our movement going forward, that we also really benefit from there being firebrands. And there's a lot of people that find that engagement incredibly useful and help them move forward in their thinking. And that there are lots of people that are in our ranks now who were moved forward because of interaction they had with a firebrand. I've also long been aware and definitely felt that the secular movement needed more diversity. Like, oh yes, yes, we're far too white, we're far too straight, we're far too male, et cetera, et cetera. Yes, I know, we should really get to that. And help me understand that it was not merely an issue that we could put in the back and be like, oh yeah, that's one of the 85,000 other issues that we'll get to someday, but not right now. But she helped me understand that for the sweet love of Loki and all the gods in Valhalla, that it was an existential problem that we had to take care of right now if we wanted our movement to be relevant or to grow at all. And the third thing, and this is the one that I actually have to admit I'm still struggling with a little bit, the third thing that she convinced me of, well, then I'm so close, is that self-care is not selfish. Please join me in welcoming the winner of the inaugural Secular Student Alliance Ambassador Award, Greta Christina. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really honored, obviously. I'm really touched. It's fun to be given any kind of award. There's something special about getting an inaugural award. I'm just really delighted to be getting this inaugural ambassador award. But really more than that, I am really honored to just get to work with the secular student movement. I'm just, every day that I get to work with this movement, with each individual in it, and with the secular student movement as a whole, I'm just really honored. I don't think it's a surprise to anybody who's been working in the larger secular movement for more than, say, 6 minutes, that this movement can be just magnificent. This movement can be inspiring. This movement can be exciting. This movement can just invigorate us with a sense of, we're just radically changing the world, and the world is going to be radically different 200 years from now because of us. And you just want to get up out of bed at, whenever you get out of bed. In my case, it's usually 10 o'clock in the morning. And you just get out of bed and you want to spring up and you want to get to work. And then there are times when this movement is depressing, when it's frustrating, when it's demoralizing, and when it just makes you want to put the covers over your head and never want to do this or any other activism or even talk to any other human being ever again. And you know what, I feel like it's important for us to remember this isn't unique to atheism. Literally every social justice movement has struggled with the issues that, the atheist and secularist movement. Literally, I think every time more than 3 people have gotten together, we've struggled with these issues. I mean, literally the only way to not be frustrated and demoralized by other people is to live as a hermit in a cave. But it is frustrating when you feel like when the movement you're in, could be better and often isn't. And the secular student movement is the better movement. The secular student movement is the movement that we could be. And I'm not going to say that I've never been frustrated or demoralized by any interaction I've ever had with any student. That would not be true, and I'm, we're all passionate for truth here, right? But the ratio of, the occasional frustrating, difficult conversation to just the incredibly inspiring, invigorating, energizing, we can change the world conversations and interactions in the student branch of this movement, it's just off the charts. You know, you people are really doing extraordinary work. And every time I do give a talk at a student group, and sometimes it's like giving the talks and doing the Q&A, and sometimes it's just like the drive to the airport. Sometimes it's a conversation over drinks after the talk is over. You people have changed my mind so many times. I mean, August talked about how I've changed his mind, and that just, of course, thrills me to pieces. But the students in this movement have changed my mind. I don't think I've ever given a talk or spoken at a student conference and not come home. Ingrid will tell you, my wife Ingrid is here this time, and I don't think I've ever come home from a student in a talk and not said, oh my gosh, this student said this amazing thing, and now I have to like write a blog post or completely rethink. And I'm also just, you people, you are doing the work, you are walking the walk. There's so many people in this movement who are saying, we have to build community, we have to build places for people to land, safe places for people to land who are leaving religion. As I think all of you know, students and young people are leaving religion at an extraordinarily high rate, a much higher rate than any other age demographic. And you are the people who are there to catch them. You are the people who are there to say it's okay to live a life without God. You aren't alone. We can take care of each other. We can support each other. There's a thing Liz Liddell often says, and that I often quote, which is that it's kind of this cliche to say that students are the future of the movement, and of course that's true. But students are also the present of this movement. You are doing. It's not just that you're like training to be future leaders. You are the leaders now. You are the leaders and you are the community organizers. You're not just training to be community organizers, although that's also true. You are the community organizers now. And I am just, as honored as I am to get this award, I am extraordinarily honored to work with you. And I am really honored to be your ambassador. And I hope that each one of you stays in this movement for a long time, and that each one of you continues to be ambassadors for secularism, because that's what you're doing now. And thank you.